right, now before we get back into the episode, we've got a big announcement to make. We want to show some love to our first ever sponsor, Mykin. That's spelled M-Y-K-Y-N. Mykin is a high-end luxury eyewear brand focused on quality, craftsmanship, and timeless style. These aren't just glasses, y'all. They're statement pieces. For those of you watching on YouTube, you can see I'm wearing an exclusive pair right now. Look at the style. I love the dark frames. Right now, you can get 25% off when you use our code GoodPeople25 at mykinbrand.com. Again, that's GoodPeople25 at MYKYN brand.com. If you love Song of the Week, do us a favor, grab a pair. GoodPeople25 for 25% off. Big love to Mykin for supporting Song of the Week. Let's get into the episode.
Hope y'all are well. Welcome to another installment of Song of the Week here with the master of the channel, sporting some different eyewear than we're used to seeing him in. Jordan, master of the channel, LeBron James himself. How you feeling? How you doing? And what are you wearing?
I'm doing good, Bill. It is also freezing cold here in Cleveland, Ohio. We are expecting a significant cold front and snowstorm in the next couple days here. I think that's supposed to start maybe tomorrow. We're supposed to get a foot or two of snow. So that is no fun. As far as what I'm sporting, as you guys know by now, we are officially sponsored by Mykin Brand, a sunglasses and eyewear company out of San Diego, California. And I am rocking a special pair of my own sunglasses. If you guys are interested in buying a pair of sunglasses, please do use promo code GoodPeople25 when you sign up for your glasses, and you will get a 25% off discount. Again, the website is Mykin Brand. That's MYKYN brand.com, and GoodPeople25 is the promo code. But now that we got the sponsorship out of the way, I'm doing well, man. I am continuing the job search. It feels like I'm starting to get closer to at least a couple offers. Playoff football is in full swing. I think we are in AFC and NFC championship weekend. My condolences to you and your Bears. Last time we talked, you guys were getting ready to play the Rams, but I was actually thinking about that today. The Bears season reminded me a little bit of the end of Moneyball with the Brad Pitt monologue of, or actually I think it's Jonah Hill's monologue, where sometimes you hit a home run and you don't even realize it. And this may be a little bit corny, but I've shared with you and Dave that I rock with Caleb Williams, just in part because he's bold enough to be different. And the videos coming out the week of last week's playoff game of all these dudes going to these nail salons and getting their mani-pedis and all that stuff, man, like, it was funny, but I also thought it was cool. I thought it was cool that, he took a lot of shit for that coming out in the draft, and people saying like, oh, I don't know if he could lead men. And Caleb made the best throw I may have ever seen in my life in that game the other day, and showed that ultimately, man, the talent is always going to rise to the top. And, being an individual and being expressive, there's a place for that even in football. And so although the Bears lost and I was rooting for them in that game against the Rams, I think it's cool what he's accomplished in such a young career. And, I think we're going to see a wave of players that are more eclectic coming into the NFL. Maybe, and he may not be around to see it, but 15, 20 years from now, the modern male athlete is going to change, and I think he's going to be a part of that. So I thought that was dope.
Yeah. We overachieved by every metric I think most fans thought we were, which is a great sign because you always want to be ahead of schedule if it comes to winning. It's cool that just to feel the excitement that was around here, and we have a lot to look forward to next year. And we can use our draft picks on defense for this upcoming draft, which is what I hope for. We take every Bears fan that we can get, even if they're Bears fans for one's game. So thanks for supporting. Thanks for rooting for us. And the talent is obvious out of him. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, man. And linking it back to music, because that's what this segment is for. The androgyny that does exist in the creative and music spaces, right? Whether it's some of your favorite rock and rollers wearing heels, tights, fishnets, Rick James, Prince. I mean, you can basically go down the line. Andre Three Stacks rocking a dress before Young Thug rocked a dress, right? These qualities and these artistic expressions exist in all aspects of our culture. And that's what gives us the autonomy and freedom in a country that has declining freedom. But we're not going to talk about that today. Let's talk about music, man. What you been listening to?
Yeah, I've been listening to a lot of good stuff. So again, I love it when people send me music, and people have been doing it more and more lately, and I really enjoy that. And so I've got some new music that my cousin actually sent to me. Shouts out to my little cousin Trevor, man, for sending some music to me the other day. My cousin Trevor plays pro ball over in France, but he listens to the podcast and checks out the clips and stuff like that. If you follow my personal Instagram, you've definitely seen me post about Trevor a lot. I'm super proud of that kid. He is in his second or third year playing pro ball over there in France in one of the top leagues. But he sent me a song the other day, and the song is called My Way, and it's by an artist named Venna, I believe is how you say his name, Venna. It's off of the album Malik that came out last year. I really liked this song. I thought it was interesting that Trev sent this song to me, again, because he's now in his second year playing professional basketball overseas. It's interesting because his dream has taken him far away from the people that he loves the most, right? Friends, family, playing over there. You know, he's over there for 8 or 9 months every year now. And my interpretation of this song was that it's about wanting to be close with somebody that you're far away from. Particularly in this instance, a romantic partner. And so, you know, I thought it was interesting that he sent this to me because, you know, I'm sure he's got loved ones that he doesn't get to spend a lot of time with. Like, I haven't seen Trevor since he was in college. I know his parents make it out there maybe once or twice a year, but for the most part, man, Trevor's over there by himself, not being allowed the time to spend with his loved ones because he's chasing this dream that he's always had. He was always a hooper ever since he was a little kid. And it just made me think about, you know, how sometimes we cross paths with special people and we're only doing exactly that. Like, we're only crossing paths, right? It may not be something that's permanent, especially when you're dealing with people who are chasing something in their life, right? And we all are to an extent, but there are certain people that have this relentless pursuit of this thing. And sometimes it's not even a thing that they can define, but there's something that they're chasing. And then again, on that pursuit, you come across these people that are special, sometimes in a romantic way, sometimes in a way that's friends. Maybe it's somebody that you work really well with. And when the connection feels special, we have to make this decision that's really critical, which is the connection special enough for us to potentially veer away from what potentially could be the best path for ourselves, because the connection is that important to us. And I think that's a decision that we all inevitably will face at some point in our lives, right? Does this person mean enough to me to get me off of my path slightly? Or can we both stay on our own path while also staying connected? And, you know, there's no right or wrong answer to that. And I think the answer can also become very complicated, right? Sometimes I'm doing my thing over here, you're doing your thing over there, but we also try to find ways to intertwine along the way. And so that's what this song meant to me. It's a song about wanting to connect with someone that you're not necessarily close with. And so, and when I say close, I mean like geographically or physically. And so that was a really good song for me. And that's going to be my song of the week.
Shout out to Trev.
Yeah, shout out to Trev.
Yeah, join us for an episode if you're going to keep sending us great suggestions, or sending Jordan great suggestions. You know, I'm pretty hard to find on the internet outside of this channel by design, and LinkedIn apparently. But my song of the week, actually, great pick. My song of the week, 2 songs because they blend into each other, off the Jaguar 2 album by Miss Victoria Monét. Smoke Reprise, second song off that album, Blending Into Party Girls, featuring Buju Banton, excuse me. What I love about this song, and the fact that these 2 songs are more or less stacked together, Smoke Reprise is very spacious, and then you've got these glistening vocals in Victoria's upper register that really just kind of sprinkle over the top of the instrumentation, which has these icy synths that more or less sound like flashlights, like when you're turning on the brights of your car, only quickly on and off to indicate that you're there or not. That's what it sounds like to me, as she really does a great job setting the ambiance before we get a little bit more reggaeton adjacent beat drop in Party Girls that has an incredible energy to it. It has a very methodical pace, and it just kind of stomps through with these drum kicks and the pluckiness of the bass guitar. And then there's this Sandy stylistics guitar. You've heard me describe a guitar like that before, that just, again, kind of pops in and pops out. These two songs together create such an ambiance and a vibe shift. They're distinctly different, but they're incredibly cohesive. And Party Girls in particular feels like the spiritual successor to Beyonce and Andre 3000's Party, just because of the hook, the subject, and the content matter to a degree. I guess the fact that they both mentioned party, but it feels very much like the shit. Like if Party is the tree that casts the shadow, Party Girls feels very much like the shadow, like the undercurrent of this song, the cooler, smoother, a little bit darker version with a little bit of robustness from that feature from Buju Banton. So I love these two songs. These are the two songs I played most this week. Grammy Award-winning Victoria Monét, excuse me, incredibly prolific and successful songwriter for a number of well-known global acts for, well, it's better part of a decade. I think Ariana Grande being the most notable, and excited to see what happens next in her career, because I know she was writing for a long time, then she cracked those three Grammys. So if you see this, hello, hope you're doing well, and thanks for the two cuts, because they're amazing.
Love it, man. Love it. Very good pick. Love it when we get, some Grammy award winning artists on here. No, that's a great pick, man. How did you stumble across those tracks?
It just came on shuffle. I'm a big fan of that album, and the fact that she's been so prolific in her songwriting and even choreography, because she's like a complete act, a high degree of professionalism based on what I've been able to observe, which is always refreshing to see that people are really honing in on different aspects of their presentation and their experience that they present the audience. And it just hit me at the right time. I'm doing a lot of calisthenics right now, so it hit me in the middle of a pull-up and gave me whatever extra boost I needed to finish the set, because I'm 245 pounds right now, y'all. Mostly muscle. Watch yourself. And pull-ups are heavy when you got arms as long as mine and that kind of weight to move around. So I guess she just gave me a boost, and it just ended up on repeat, along with some other songs, but those two stuck out most this week.
Yeah, that's great. Love a good gym boost. I've been trying to get to the gym 5-6 times a week these last couple months also. Yeah, trying to get beefy out here for the summer. You know what I mean?
Damn.
Just trying to get like you, dog. 245 all muscle.
Yeah. Shirtless song of the week coming soon, ladies.
Shirt off, sunglasses all summer. Here we come.
Well, we're basically getting you right. I guess the calisthenics program is going to drop soon. Jordan's program is going to drop soon. You got a sunglasses deal from Mike, and life is good. It's fucking cold outside, but it's going to be hot soon, and you need to be hotter. So get right.
Amen to that. Quick question. We were talking football earlier. Thoughts on the Super Bowl halftime in general? Just like, I'm curious what you think of Bad Bunny, and then what you think of the Super Bowl halftime show and kind of its like cultural importance.
It means less than it used to.
Mm-hmm.
Byproduct of the hyper commercialized and I guess advertising landscape that has been kicked into overdrive in the American landscape that we live in.
Yeah.
I think people had really high expectations on Jay-Z basically taking over the selection of the halftime show performers. And to a degree, or actually, I think generally across the board, most people who aren't racists would say that he's done a very good job picking acts, coordinating acts, and putting on very memorable shows. I think the Bad Bunny pick makes a lot of sense, because that is maybe, I think right now, the most streamed artist in the world. I could be wrong on that, but at the time of this recording, yeah, he's top 10 for sure.
Yeah.
But I do think that in these times that we find ourselves in, these last 2 years being the Kendrick show, fresh off the beef, or sort of fresh-ish off the beef, and then a Spanish-speaking Puerto Rican artist. Puerto Rico is part of the United States territories, by the way. So, like, he's not technically foreign.
Read a book, people.
Like he's American, technically, I guess. Anyway, it is interesting to see, I guess, like the political or the politicized turn that we've seen, but art is always political. But I think we live in a time of such a lack of media literacy, generally speaking, that people aren't exactly. I think people are looking for a chance to pick a side as a result of the art, as opposed to absorb what the art is attempting to or going to say. So as far as like music and the halftime performance goes, these are just my ramblings because I didn't know we were going to talk about this. Maybe we elaborate more on fries at the bottom, but I just think it's like people are expecting more out of the actual performance, but use the performance as an excuse to pick a size because of how hyper politicized this country once again has become. This is nothing new for our history, but once again, we find ourselves in the thick of it because ICE agents are shooting people in the face and ICE agents are admitting to sexually assaulting mothers so they can see their daughters. And it's just bad all around, man. And art is important. So we always shine lights on these things and correct this cultural behavior when we are deteriorating in this aspect. The Super Bowl is a great chance to do that. So hopefully this performance has a chance to be like last year's and a couple years before with Shakira and Jennifer Lopez, if I remember correctly on that one.
I kind of just threw that out there because it came to me as we were talking football earlier. I was having an interesting conversation at dinner the other day, and I'm curious what you think about this. Do you think Bad Bunny, with everything that's going on in the country with ICE, do you think there's any obligation on his part to even subtly make some sort of statement about
official statement or convey the statement through the art?
Convey the statement through the art. Like, I don't think he needs to stand on the stage and say something directly, but do you think there's some obligation of his to at least acknowledge what's going on in the country through his art during the Super Bowl performance?
Yes. I think any artist worth their salt has an obligation to comment on the state of the times, because that's just what the state of the times are. Or excuse me, that's what art dictates. Art is always inherently political, whether you agree with that or not. It is not. It's not that deep, bro. There is actually texture and tonality and stances that need to be taken most of the time. And he is an artist who represents a vast majority of the Spanish speaking, well, not vast majority, but a significant portion of Spanish speaking and Latin population. So I think he'll take it upon himself to make sure that he conveys the message, especially with political figures being at this game. So it'll go right over their heads or they won't pay attention to it. But I imagine he'll do something.
Yeah, I hope he does too. And I hope it's powerful and I hope it's well thought out. And I think it will be. I don't follow Bad Bunny, so I don't have a real sense of where he stands politically or even just his appetite for entering those types of conversations. But I'm with you. I think there is an obligation on the artist of the time to just get involved with those things, especially when some of them are so terrible, some of the things that we're seeing on the news these days. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the Super Bowl halftime performance, whoever ends up playing in the game. And yeah, I'll be curious to see how he addresses some of the stuff that's going on in our country as it only gets worse as time goes on.
Yeah. We're reaching another stress point. My theory, as you know, is that not enough people are physically hungry, like collectively don't know where their next meal is going to come from. So they take it out on whoever the richest person is. My anecdote, I think you've heard me say this before, is we've never as a country killed our king before because we're a pretty young country. Mm-hmm. And all countries that have been around for a while have basically killed their monarch at some point. Not all, but you know what I mean. So maybe we get to see it in our lifetime. Who knows? Not advocating for political violence, people. I'm just saying, like, as far as human history goes, this has been a theme and a trait, and America has not done it because we're a young country. So,
yeah, no, I think that's well said, man. I think that's well said, and you know, we're a music podcast, but I think it's within our range to talk about stuff like that from time to time. And sorry if I threw that at you unexpectedly. I wasn't thinking about talking about that 30 minutes ago when we started.
He ain't got to apologize. You're asking for my uncandid thoughts. You know, it's just like with topics with that much nuance, I like to usually do my little 1 2 1 2 in terms of preparation.
Yeah.
And then, but maybe we turn it into a fries at the bottom.
Well, before we get out of here, as you know, I've been trying to close with one final thought. And as I was doom scrolling the other day, a Steve Harvey video came across my timeline. This is, Steve Harvey during his show would do these kind of motivational speeches, kind of in between takes, I believe. And so I came across one where he said, the guarantee of quitting is that it will never happen. That's the only guarantee that you get out of quitting. And, it's not a complicated statement by Steve, but what he's saying is you have to keep going. No matter what it is that you're pursuing, you have to keep going. You have to pursue it relentlessly. And you're not guaranteed that you'll get there, but if you quit, you're guaranteed that it won't happen. So continue to pursue things with relentless passion and understand that you don't know when it's going to happen, but you just can't quit. You just can't quit. So this is Song of the Week. My name is Jordan. To the left or the right of the screen is Bill. We're so happy to see you guys. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time, we are gone. Peace.